Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Lynn. Today we're going to work on a necklace like this. Um, I'm going to do this in two parts because otherwise it would be a really lengthy video. So part one is going to be bezeling this beautiful 18 millimeter Luna cab. We're going to use this color this time. Now on this, the beads I used were 11.0 Delicas, 15.0 seed beads, and 11.0 seed beads for the rope. Now these came in my Beads of the Month club. So on the Luna Cab, we have metallic dark plum iris, which is just gorgeous. And then on the necklace part itself, the rope, we have metallic dark plum iris as well. Okay, and then I have these little, they're champagne 15 O's. These are Mayuki. These are all Mayuki seed beads, by the way. And with this one, I finished it with a magnetic clasp. This is a glue-in magnetic clasp, but we're going to do the other one a little bit different because it takes a long time and a lot of beads to do an entire necklace. This was 25 grams, and I have about half of it left for the rope. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside, gather up all of our supplies to make this cabochon into a pendant, and I'll be right back. Okay, all right, see you in a minute. Okay, guys, well, I have my needle. I'm using a size 12 beading needle threaded with a good arm's length of my beading thread. I'm using 6-pound Fireline in the smoke color because it just kind of disappears as you're working, as you guys know if you've been doing this for any length of time. I have my 11.0 Delicas that I just poured everywhere. Probably won't take near that many. Okay, and I have my cab here. This is a Luna cab in the color Spearmint, and it's 18 millimeters. Now, if you don't have these or you don't want to use these, you could use an 18 millimeter Rivoli or any kind of cabochon that you might want to use, but I'm just using this one because I have these and I love the way they look. Look how they just glow, and that's what the back looks like. It's highly mirrored. So this has a really good coating on it. All I do is just add a coat of Skin Guard to that. Even though it's not going to touch your skin, I just go ahead and do that. So let's get started with bezeling our stone. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick up 46 11.0 Delicas, okay? So, what I do is I pick up 10 at a time. I double check myself. Yes, that's 10. And then I put a bead aside for every 10 that I've done. So I'm just going to keep on going. I know this is boring, y'all. I'm sorry. I should have done this off camera. There's 10. Put another one over here. Okay. Let's get 10 more. Apparently I can't count today. Okay, there's 10 more. So we have 30. We need 46. Okay, that's 40, and we need 6 more. 1, 2, 3, well, 4, 5, 6. Okay, once you have those on, pull it down to the end of your thread, leaving yourself enough of a tail to sew in. Okay, so 4 to 6 inches, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, and then sew back through the first Delica. Okay, now we have them in a circle, and we're going to do peyote stitch. Now, if you're not familiar with peyote stitch, you always have to have an even number of beads. And you can put a stop bead on if that's how you're more comfortable. I'm just holding on to the tail. So with peyote, we're coming out of this bead. I want to make sure y'all can see. Coming out of this bead, we're going to skip one and go through the next and pull. And what's going to happen is they're going to start to stack. First row is actually always stubborn. So don't worry about it, just work with it. Okay? We'll stack them in a minute. So pick up another Delica. Coming out of this bead, we're going to skip this one and go through the next one. Okay. Now you see how they're starting to stack side by side, and that's what it should be doing. So we just keep going. Pick up another Delica. You're coming out of this bead, skip this one, and go through the next. Okay, just keep going, doing the same thing. Coming out of this bead, skip this one, go through this one. So it's through one, skip one, all the way around. And just watch and make sure that, it's coming along right. It should look like that. All right, I'm going to finish this up, and when I get to the end, I'll come right back and show you how to do a step up. So you guys go ahead, finish the row. When you get to the end, I'll come back and show you how to do that, okay? Okay, you guys, I'm at the end of this round, okay? So I have one more left to skip, and then I'm going to go through the next one, and that's where I'm going to step up. So what I have to do is pick up one bead, coming out here, skip here, go through this guy right here, and on the diagonal onto the first one that we put on. Okay, like that. Okay, now the first row is always the hardest. It gets easier from here. We still have our tail sticking out there. We're going to leave him for right now, but I'll show you how to get rid of it in a little bit. So what we're going to do is do another round of peyote, and we're going to step up the very same way. But what you'll notice is you have a bead sticking out now. So all you have to do is just go through that one bead that sticks up all the way around. Okay, so when you get that done, do another step up, and we'll look at it and see if we have enough of our Delicas. If we don't, we'll do another round. But I'm going to let you do that on your own. So do this round and do one more round. And when you get finished with both of those, come on back and we'll look at our work and see if we're good, okay? All right, I'll see you in a few. Okay, you guys, well, I have my other 2 rounds on, and I've decided that we need another one. But before we do that, I wanted to show you how to sew in your tail. Now, these very fine needles have really small eyes. So what I do is I take my pliers and squish my thread flat like that, and it makes it a lot easier because our thread is round and the eye of the needle is oblong. So if you squish it down like that, it makes it a lot easier to thread the needle. Okay, so all you do to sew this in is just go back and forth in different directions. Just, like go to your next few, like, oh, it went all the way up there. So that's okay. Because all you want to do is just get this sewn in so it doesn't come out. And what you do is you just turn around, see, like that. and then go back up in that same direction. Go through a couple more beads, turn around. If you do this 2 or 3 times, that thread is not going anywhere. So that's 2 turns. I'm going to do one more turn. Come up through there like so. Just pull that through and turn around, and then go right back through that same bead and a couple more. And your thread is very secure there. You don't have to worry about this coming undone. It won't. And I always like to go through a few more beads just to get away from my last turn. And we're good to go. We can get rid of this thread. So you can either cut it or burn it, whatever you're, used to doing. I'm just going to burn it off. There we go. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to do one more row of peyote and then come on back. And you see how it's kind of like cupped up? You want it to do that. And that's just from the tension of, doing your sewing. Okay, so I'm going to put one more row on, then I'll come back and show you our next step, okay? So go ahead and do the same, and I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, guys, well, I have all of my peyote done with my 11-0 Delicas, and now I'm going to start with my 15-0s. And first, we're going to be working on the back, and we're just going to continue doing peyote. We're just using 15s instead of 11s. Okay, so we do it the same way. Pick up a bead, go to the next bead that's sticking out. And do this all the way around. And what this is going to do is it's going to start pulling this in so that it hugs that stone. Okay. So we're going to do 2 rounds of this, and I'll let you go off on your own and do that. Just once you get all the way around and you get back to here, you do the step up the very same way. Okay, so do 2 rounds, and then I'll show you how we're going to do this little decorative part where it almost, we have little one sticking out. Let me see if I can get you a good shot. You see these ones here that stick out just a little bit? Once we get 2 rows of this on, I'll show you how we're going to do that, okay? So get your 2 rows on, and I'll meet you back here in just a couple of minutes, all right? Okay. Okay, you guys. Well, as you can see, I've finished 2 rows of those 15-0s. I'm not going to do the decorative stitch just yet because I want to get my stone in there and make sure I have it good and snug, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my needle to the other side. I'm just going to follow my thread path like so. Coming out right there, you can just go diagonally across like so. Till you get to the other side. Come on, needle. This is why I tell you to use a size 12 needle. Because, we're going through these little teeny tiny beads quite a few times. And we have to get to one that's sticking up like that. Okay, so once you get there, just pull your thread on through. Now what we want to do is drop our stone in face up. And you might have to just kind of maneuver it a little bit, but there it went. It popped right in. And now what we're going to do is put 2 rows of 15-0s on the front. Okay, we're just doing the same thing we did with the back for 2 rows. So go ahead and get that done, and then come back and I'll show you how we do that decorative part with the 15 O's. And then we'll do another step where we're starting to decorate the outer edge of our cabochon. Okay? All right, see you in just a minute. Okay, guys, I have 2 rows of 15 O's on both sides, on the front and the back. And now I'm going to show you how to put that little point in there. So I'm coming out right here, okay, in one of the up beads. I'm going to pick up a 15 O. I'm going to go through the next up bead, okay. That's going to put that right there. And now I'm going to skip the next one. I'm not going to put a bead there. I'm going to go, just going to follow my thread path going through this one on the bottom and this one on a diagonal. Okay. So pull your needle on through there. Pick up another 15 O and go through the next up bead. You're coming out right here. You're going to go through this one right here. Okay. And now you see we're starting to form that little zigzaggy look. I don't know what to call it. Okay, we're going to go through this bottom one and up through the next up bead. What we're doing is we're skipping one bead, one place where you would put a bead if we were doing just a straight round. Okay, coming out here, go through here. Just that bead right there. When you're pulling on it, pull toward the center. That helps lay those beads down. Go through that bottom one and up through the next one. Pick up a 15 O. Go through the next up bead. Just like that. Okay. And you see what's happening here? We have that little, I don't know, star shape, whatever you want to call it, I guess. All right, we're coming out right here. We're going to go through this bottom one and the next up bead. Okay, pick up a 15 O, go through the next up bead, go through the bottom and next up bead. Okay, now we're going to do that all the way around. And then come on back when you get done and we'll move over to the back and do that side, okay? All right, see you in a few. Okay, guys, as you can see, I'm finished there. Now I'm going to show you how to get over to the back side. So all you're going to do is just weave your way through your thread path. Okay, we're coming out right here. So I'm just going to turn and go this way. Okay. All right. Then we're just going to work our way over till we're coming out of one of the up beads over here. So just follow your thread path because we don't want thread showing. There we go. See why I said use a size 12, right? Because it's getting tight, which is what we want. I mean, we want our cabochon securely in there. Okay, now I'm here to an up bead, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did on the front. So you go ahead and do that too, and then when you get finished, come on back and I'll show you the next step, okay? All right, see you in a minute. Okay, you guys, we have all of that done, and now I'm going to show you where we're going to start the embellishment, like on the outside of this one, okay? So what you're going to need to do is bring your thread up to um, this middle row, okay? So just follow your thread path like we do. Okay, see, like so. And now we're coming out right here, and I want to get to here. So there we go. Okay, now we're going to do something called stitch in the ditch. Okay, you see if you're in this row right here, you see how you have two together here and then another one, two together and another one, and so forth. What you do there is you pick up a Delica and you go to the next bead in the same row, like that. Okay, and see it's going to stick out just like that. Okay, we're going to do this all the way around. And then we're going to put in those gorgeous little micro beads. Um, Micro beads are something that I try to keep on hand. They're so wonderful. I mean, as you can see, they really added some sparkle to this one. And it takes a really small bead to fit between the Delicas, when you've done stitch in the ditch. So you're always going to want to keep something like that on hand. Now, you can use a seed bead for that. You're putting the stitch in the ditch on with Delicas. Be careful not to catch your thread. Um, so if you were using a seed bead, you might want to, if you have any size 10 rounds, that would work. If not, you could probably use an 11-0. I don't think an 8-0 would fit. I mean, if that's all you have, you could try it, but personally, I think it would look bunched, if that makes sense to you. So as we go through this, setting ourselves up for the little stones, then we're also going to set ourselves up for the bail, making the bail like this. And that's just even count peyote too. That's, it's one of the most basic stitches you can know in bead weaving, and it's like a necessary stitch. It's the basis for so many things that the sooner you can master peyote stitch, odd count and even count, the better off you are. Um, I have a project that I'm going to do with you using odd count because it's a little different. It's not hard, it's just a little different. Sometimes you got to make them fit, show them who's the boss. I hope you're all doing well. I tell you, it's been a hot summer, if you ask me, and I'm from Florida. But I'm just so ready for fall. And there's a maple tree right outside my patio doors. And I noticed this morning that it's starting to get a little red on it. And that just makes me so happy. I love the fall colors here in the mountains. They're just stunning. They're so vivid. I mean, I know, so many people go to the Smoky Mountains for viewing the leaves and everything. And I mean, it is beautiful there. I actually lived there for 5 years. It's very, very beautiful. But so are the Appalachian Mountains. They're just breathtaking. I just love mountains. I love, the ocean is beautiful and I did enjoy it while I lived there, but and every now and then I miss it because I lived so close to the beach. I literally crossed a bridge and I was there. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. That's the trash truck. The joys of communal living. Oh well, I actually like it here, so I've made some good friends, and that means the world to me. Okay, we're almost done. Just a couple more. Okay, final one. We're going to go through the one in that row, and then we're going to go ahead and step up through that first one that we put on. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to set those aside. We're going to use some more Delicas here in a minute, but I'm going to get our little sparkly beads out. These, as y'all can see, they're tiny. I mean, they're like a 1.5 milligram, I think. They're so small. But anyway, we're going to pick one up and go through the next sticking up Delica, just like that. And what we have to do is put them all the way around, stopping when we only have 2 of the up beads left, because that's where we're going to join on our bail. So you see, as you can see, we are so close to being finished with our pendant. And I'm gonna leave you guys, I don't know what you call it, maybe a legend on how many Delicas it would take to bezel a certain size stone. And this is just, from me doing it so many times. But I thought I'd leave that in the comments if I can get my hands on it. I had to write it down. I can't just keep all that in my head. Not anymore. Maybe when I was 30, but not now. When you start chasing 70, it's a little harder to remember all those little details. You learn to write things down. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm very lucky that I still function as well as I do and everything because, being a senior citizen is not easy. It has its benefits and that I don't have to live by a clock anymore, but it, your body does start to get tired. And you don't have the flexibility or strength that you had when you were younger. But that's okay. I'm grateful every day. Every day that I can swing my feet down on the floor. Well, I tell you what, y'all, these little beads are so tiny. It's amazing how much sparkle they have to me, to be so little. But, it's hard to build a stash with everything that you might need. The only reason I have so much stuff is because I've been collecting it for over 25 years. And, it does build up. I mean, you see something you like or you see something that you think you want. I tell you, I can't tell you how many times I have ordered something with a specific project in mind and it come in and I just never get around to it. So, just becomes part of my stash. But, that's okay. I love my beads. So, um, you know, doing this makes me happy. And, at this point in my life, that's all I want is just to be happy. And I'm grateful that I am. And I'm grateful of how much time this occupies. I know when I used to work, I didn't have a lot of time to do this. So now that I do, I'm so grateful. All right, let's see. I'm going to do one more of our micro beads, and then we're going to do our bail. Okay. Now you see we have some beads where we have a hole there. So let me pick these up because these things are so tiny. I don't want them to go flying across the room. Get my little shovel. I love my little shovel. Okay, get our Delicas back out because that's what we're going to make our bale out of. Okay, now, like I said, this is just peyote, so it's really nothing to it. So we're just going to pick up a Delica, go through this, pick up a Delica, go through this one, and then pick up a Delica, go here, pick up a Delica, and go here. And, well, this is going to be odd count, and I apologize. Okay, I've got to pick one because I got to lay one right here, but I don't have another one to go through going this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come right up through this way. So that that bead lay in place. Like that. Okay. So now what I have to do is I have to get around so that I'm coming out this way. So I got to turn around. Just mainly just follow your thread path. As long as you follow your thread path, you'll be fine. Then come up through there, pick up a Delica, go through the up bead, pick up a Delica, go through the next up bead, pick up a Delica, come down through this bead, pick up another one, come down through this bead. Actually, you can go ahead and go through that one too on the diagonal like that. Okay, and then you can pick up a Delica and go up through here. Then you got to turn around. So that you can come out of this bead. And all you have to do is just follow your thread path. As long as you follow your thread path, you will be fine. You just have to make those weird turnarounds with odd count. I meant for this to be even count, so I do apologize, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, back here, here, and you have to make sure that you do your bail large enough for whatever kind of necklace you're going to put it on. You know, be it rope or whatever. I'll show you another necklace that I've done that I haven't done a pendant for yet. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do. But now this is not my design. This is a design by uh, Jill Wiseman. It's called the Daydreamer Rope. But look how pretty that is. So anyway, you can go to her website and there's a tutorial there. That's Jill Wiseman Designs. So I got to figure out something to put on that as a necklace, but I want it to be removable too. So that's another trick. Watch your thread when you're doing this. Okay, you guys go ahead and finish up with your bail, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like all finished, okay? All right, see you soon. Okay, guys, well, here is our pendant all done. We have our bail on. Here's what the front looks like, the little star pattern, I guess you could call it, and the back. Okay, so that part is done. Now what we have to do is make a rope to put it on, but I'm going to do that in a separate video because this video has gotten very long. There's what that looks like. Okay, we'll call this part 1, and then the rope will be part 2, and I'll try to get to that by tomorrow anyway. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Remember, be kind to one another, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon on the next video. Bye-bye.